Ping William, Ato in Juba, Malatori, hey, I'm yo, Ping William, Ato in Benti, Walla Quaju, hey, wow, Ping William, Ato in Malkal, Walla Pinyaram, Ping William.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are tuning in. Welcome to Lake State Media. Today we'll be having General Lul Koang with us in the team, and Thomas Macro, a Lake State Media journalist based in Juba. I advise you to share this video to all our followers. This is very important message that we need to hear as a South Sudanese living in diaspora and back home. Give it to you, Thomas Ton Macro. Take the floor and welcome General Lul Koang. Thank you.
All right. Yes, dear viewers of Lake State Media, you are most welcome to this live interview. We are now live in the office of General Lul Ruai Koang, the spokesperson of the South Sudan People Defense Forces in Juba. We'll be talking to him basically on the Friday night tensions in Juba. General, you're welcome.
Very much, Thomas, for coming to SSPDF General Headquarters. And let me say hello to listeners of Lake State Media, wherever they are. I would like to straight away go to the main topic, which is reported tensions on Friday. That was last week. I want to say there were tensions in Juba, but there was a little bit heavy deployment of security forces on strategic roundabouts, locations, some streets, and people were worried because they had seen an increased presence of security personnel as well as equipment. There was no tension between any of the organized forces. I would like to explain that we were doing our routine work, which is at around every 7 in the evening. We would deploy joint security personnel on strategic locations that are known to all of you are here in Juba. What we did on that particular day was to reach at a level of what we normally call in military show force, showing capabilities. And basically, when you say you are showing force, is that you increase your numbers so that you have numerical strength. Then you come up with additional armament, like the one that we've seen. Then combat support units, like some tanks, and then some title and cruisers mounted with different types of machine guns. So that was exactly what was done. But otherwise, in the past, you would see security personnel minus a lot of combat support units. And what was done was that after the salaries for civil servants, as well as members of the organized forces, were increased, there was an upsurge in criminal activities in given areas. A lot of hijacking of motorbikes, snatching of properties. So we said the situation was becoming a concern, and we therefore wanted to deter potential criminals by taking counter measures aimed at ensuring proper security for people and their properties. That was basically the main reason.
Yeah. Yes, General, you said that it was basically to deter the increase of armed robberies. Uh, on that night, are there some successful move? Have you apprehended some criminals that night?
We'll be getting an information on that. You know, it had happened on Friday, and we were heading to weekend. I'm very sure the concerned organized forces that were on duty on that day will compile a report and submit it to the concerned commanders. This is what we normally do. Whenever you go on night duty, all the incidents that are happening in Juba are recorded, be them car accidents, motor car accidents, whatever happens at night while we are on duty, such incidents are compiled and reported every morning. So if the day is still young, we'll get to know through our relevant channels of communication what were the incidents that were registered over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
All right, General. Uh, Given armed robberies in some areas in Juba, why was there deployment around the presidential road and around the national security headquarters and SSBC? Are there some reported armed robberies between these places before you deploy heavy forces around the presidential house?
Thank you. Whenever there is extra measures that are being put in place, it is the policy of the government wherever you go in the whole world that the strategic locations are given extra protection. It does not have to have any other meaning. And wherever these strategic installations are, the forces that are supposed to protect them are there, that are on routine duty. Whenever there is need for extra resources to be added to the existing ones, we just call and tell them, come, deploy here, deploy there. This is what happens. But otherwise, we have personnel that are assigned to the protection of all the installations. Airport, you go to the airport, they are there. We can go and show you where they are with their equipment. You will not know until they come to areas where they would be seen. You go to Freedom Bridge, Juba Bridge, those who are supposed to protect those installations are there, but we only give a specified number to be seen with limited resources in terms of combat support units with limited personnel. But whenever it is deemed necessary for extra protection to be put in place, we just tell, just come and do ABC. That was it. So there's no reason for anybody to be worried about. If you could recall, after that increased deployment of security forces, in the morning, they went back to their places of where they normally stay, and everything went to normal in the last 24 hours. You are my witness. Thank you.
Uh, Finally, what is your message to citizens in case of such heavy deployments again in Juba, given the testimony of 2013 to 2016? Because once you deploy such heavy force, citizens are always in panic. Uh, if it does happen, are there possibilities of you communicating to citizens before you deploy heavy force, or you just surprise the whole city?
It depends on, first and foremost, what is the motive of an increased presence of security force? That's the most important thing. And I've just shared it with the listeners of Lake State media. Secondly, in the military, we balance the element of surprise with the intended mission. For instance, we realized based on our intelligence that there are increased criminal activities in different areas. Now, if you were to announce on air, of course, the intended group will not be visible. They want to be visible. They'll go into hiding. And our intent is to catch them off guard. They don't know that we have been monitoring their activities and we are ready to get into action. Like in some areas, members of the public were allowed to continue moving. It is only in some area where they are told, no, please, you are not required to go this way. And that's what happened. Everyone went about his or a business on the same material day. No? It is only in some areas you are told, no, don't use this route, use the other route. Yeah.
All right. Finally, the, there are rumors going on at two places that it was a security beef between security personnel, Tiger, and National Security. What do you say there as the spokesperson of South Sudan People Movement First?
No. It was made up if there was that. It was made up if there was tension between the two units you have just mentioned. And then what happened? Was there an incident reported? All right. In some place they were deployed side by side. And in most cases, we deploy agile security forces, Alpine National Security, Tiger, Police, SSPDF. We normally do this to ensure that when I come, I identify myself as a member of SSPDF. There will be one from my unit that will say, yeah, it's from us. If someone comes from police, he says, I'm a policeman. We'll have a colleague. We'll help in the identification process. That's how we normally make it joint, so that there's no manipulate by one unit. All right. So this is how we normally do it. Now, if there was a problem between the two units, then how did it end up without any confrontation? These are people that it was made up by social media warriors. It was made up by people who do not want peace to return. There are people who have been benefiting out of this crisis. People who have really become real businessmen, people who acquired a lot of resources because the country is at war. Whenever there is war, there are always beneficiaries. So the beneficiaries who have been benefiting from this suffering of our people do not want to see an end. Okay. So from time to time, they would stir up things. But it is our responsibility to come and explain. Now, if there were tensions, how did the tension subside without any shots being fired? Now, if there is any problem, let us wait and see. Because tensions, if they were reported tensions between the two units, it cannot go like that without being investigated and the people who caused panic to be asked. Because if the resources were extra resources were deployed, because there was a problem between the two units, and then whoever created that tension must be held accountable. Then at the end of the day, government resources were used. All right. Deploying armored vehicles, extra vehicles. What do you use? You use fuel. Okay. You use fuel. You use other resources that should have been channeled into a different. So if there is any genuine reason, the heads of organized forces will find out if it is not the reasons I have given. And everyone will get to know we are not operating from the moon. If we will get to hear.
All right. Finally, General, what message do you have for those who are outside Juba and those who are using social media as we come to the conclusion of the interview?
My message to those who are not within South Sudan is that let them always have positive attitude. Let us confirm, wait and see posture. Let them not have this mindset of chicken running around, making a lot of noise that the sky is falling. All right. Our country is not at war. We don't have any rebel movement that is
Yeah, the network is cutting to General. Can you hear us, General?
Overrunning Juba.
Yep, the network is distorted. Your voice is distorted. We can't hear you properly. General, can you hear me?
Yeah, finally, we have come to the end of the interview. Isaac in the studio. Do you have any question for General?
Yeah, thank you so much, Thomas. I've seen the network is now affecting us. We just need to thank General Lul Kong for coming to Lake State Media and give out this very clarification to the citizens of South Sudan who are worried that we are being traumatized by some events that have occurred, especially by the end of the years when it's approaching. A lot of scenarios they do happen. So thank you so much for clarification. We appreciate your giving times, and we hope to catch up with you again for more information to the public. That's what I can say. Thank you so much, and all our viewers. We have heard from General Lul Kong. Thank you.
Bye bye.
connection. Okay, shukran.
In Juba, Malatori, Ayambio, Ping William, in Benti, Walla Quadu, Ayawao, Ping William, in Malkal, Walla Pinyaram, Ping William.